And welcome to the Goodwill Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, the guy that knows everything about cars, the famous left coast lover, Jack Nerad. Jeff has the cruise in and events calendars, plus this week's top automotive news stories. We got some good ones for you today. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. David Ainsley is taking a day off, kind of. He's monitoring us.
Yes, he is.
Ready to point out any and all mistakes.
He takes
Yes,
days off.
he is.
Any day that ends in a Y, he takes off.
Yeah. Have you gotten any nasty remarks yet, Mars?
Oh, yeah. I've been off screen kind of doing some checking on some stuff he's throwing our way.
Oh, great. Well, there's that. Is Jack with us yet?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I've got a little story here before we get to him. California new car buyers bought more hybrids than fully electric vehicles in the first half of this year, breaking a 4-year EV lead and giving dealers a boost over direct sales brands, Tesla, new data shows. Hybrids made up nearly a quarter of California's new vehicle registrations, while EVs accounted for 16%, according to data from California New Car Dealers Association. While California remains the nation's largest EV market, some analysts see hybrids outpacing EVs in coming years as Toyota, Honda, and other brands expand their gasoline-electric combo lineups. States shift from EVs as part of a broader U.S. trend following the September 30th repeal of the federal EV tax credit. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, America on the Road founder, host, and our Karnak the Great, Jack Nerad.
Yay.
So good to be with you.
Well, thank you.
I've learned so much already.
You
About yourself.
You always tell us good things. So I just thought I'd throw that in there because Mr. California here, Jack just got off the beach and you look fabulous. The tan is fantastic, and I know that your wallet is a little lighter because of the price of gasoline out there.
Yeah, absolutely true. It's still well over $5 out here, and maybe that's why people are buying so many hybrids. I think they're buying a lot of hybrids too because there's many more to choose from, right? I mean, a lot of Toyotas are hybrid only.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of wanted to focus our attention on. And if you've got something that you wanted to throw in there, feel free to do that at any time, Jack. But my daughter is coming up on an end of lease thing with a Nissan Rogue that she loved. But she's ready to move on. And I told her, I said, I think, because she drives a lot and she takes lots of road trips on business to Austin, San Antonio, sometimes to Dallas. And I said, I think that your best bet would be a hybrid. I just got out of a Hyundai Elantra hybrid that got 47 miles per gallon in the week that I had it. Jack, who would have ever dreamt of something like that 5 years ago?
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? We were testing, and we'll talk about it on our show coming up, the Kia Telluride, the new Kia Telluride hybrid.
Right, yeah.
It's got something like 600 miles of range with a full tank of gas because of the great mileage that it gets, something in the 40s, I think, or close to 40, with a big 3-row SUV like that. It's kind of crazy. But
40 miles in a big 3-row.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hard to believe, but that they're out there. And I guess if you're really into cars and you do what you're supposed to do and do your homework when you're selecting a car to buy, that you would probably at least run across something that will tell you that they are out there. So that's one that you have driven lately. Is there something that you haven't driven that you're looking forward to?
There's so many of them. I haven't driven very many General Motors cars in a long time, and I'm about to drive like the new Escalade, the Escalade EV. All of those vehicles would be fairly new to me because I haven't been in them in a while. So I'm pretty excited about driving that kind of stuff.
The way that this whole thing has evolved with EVs, and let's face it, I mean, the hybrids I meant to say, is if I'm not mistaken, it was the Toyota Prius that really kind of started that whole thing. And back in the day, and I guess still there are some folks that make fun of them, but the car actually looks pretty darn good, and it's still with the same basic technology that they had, 20 years ago, Jack?
Yeah, in a lot of ways. And the funny thing about the Prius too is, as it's gotten better looking, it's gotten less popular. You see fewer of them. And I think the new one is very good looking. But I think there's so many hybrid choices now, and Toyota gives its buyers a lot of hybrid choices. That's certain. Maybe there's no great reason to go, oh, I'm going to get the Prius versus, say, a hybrid version of the RAV4 or something like that.
Yeah, many more choices.
Yeah,
I say that because Laura today is actually looking at a Toyota. She's looking at a RAV4.
Well, that was going to be my point that I was going to make is that if I were going to look for a hybrid, I think that I would look at Toyota first, only because they have had a lot of success and an innovator, really, of the hybrid process. And you never hear of a recall of a Prius. You just don't do it. And I think that they've got a lot going for them. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Jack, that whole technology has been coined and used by other manufacturers in their
pretty
process.
much almost licensed by Toyota. And I think the Ford and Chevrolet, for example, the big American brands are kind of being left out in the cold in this hybrid thing. I mean, they've gone heavily electric, certainly General Motors has. But this middle ground of hybrid makes a lot of sense for so many people. You don't have to change your lifestyle at all. You just get better fuel economy.
You don't have to plug it in. You don't have to worry about finding a charging station. And, when my daughter takes these trips for her business, there are times that she will be on the road when it's dark. I don't want her going to some charging station after dark. Now, she's a grown woman and knows how to take care of herself, but still, why put yourself in an awkward position? Possibly.
Yeah, I've always found it weird that these electric charging stations are unmanned. There's nobody, they're just kind of out there somewhere. And that's one of the reasons I think so many of them are out of service all the time. And we continue to see that.
Well, one of the things that, that I think it's a misconception that depending on the vehicle, of course, these hybrids, at least the one, that, for instance, that Hyundai that I drove, it's $30,000 and it was a loaded up one that gets 47 miles per gallon. That's affordable.
Yeah, absolutely true. You have to do the math on hybrids a lot, and maybe the plug-in hybrids are not the way to go because the premium is so high. But the typical hybrid, a payback period is pretty quick. It makes a lot of sense. And with a lot of these, there's nothing other than a hybrid.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Mike.
So in my situation, my wife, she averages less than 10,000 miles a year on her car. I mean, it's the reason she's still driving a 12-year-old car. But if I've talked to her about a hybrid for kind of the opposite reason that Don's talking about. She would drive mainly on the battery with the type of running she does. She doesn't get more than 5 or 6 miles from home normally. And if she does, then she's got the gas powered, obviously. But I could see her literally having to put some sort of fuel additive because the gas doesn't get burnt quick enough.
Yeah, if she were in a plug-in hybrid with enough range to get her back and forth.
I wouldn't put her in the plug-in. I'd put her in a regular one. The plug-in.
Well, if you're in a regular one, Mike, you're probably going to be using the gasoline engine pretty significantly. A lot of people would not be on electric power for very, very long in a typical hybrid.
Well, and to that point, I did drive a plug-in hybrid. I don't get too many of them, and I don't recall exactly what it was. And it took almost the entire battery charge for me to go 40 miles from home to work. And, I can see where some people, not very many, but some people that would be okay. But the cost, it wasn't much more than a regular EV, which is expensive.
Right.
And I just didn't understand why you would limit yourself like
Double
that.
down on it. Yeah.
That's why I think plug-in hybrids are not going to be very popular out there. The premium for the big battery is such.
Right.
Yeah, but plus, like Don driving at 40 miles to work, you got to have a place there to plug it in to get home.
Right.
Well, if you're going to
be on gas.
Well, you're going to be on the gas, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I will say that, it did work for what it was, but unless you're just a church and grocery store getter, then I just don't, it doesn't make sense to me, because the price of the hybrids these days are in that area, and
Very
that's what I
affordable.
would have.
Very
They're not
affordable.
limited.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Yeah.
With you.
So what have you driven lately that excites you?
I've driven the new Kia Seltos, the 2027 Kia Seltos. As a matter of fact, I just reviewed it. I have a new Substack now. I'm excited about it. It's called Jack Arney Read Cars, Crime, and Curveballs, which are my three kind of loves. I love cars. I write about crime a lot, and I love baseball. So I'm writing about all of those things. But the Seltos is brand new for 2027, and it is kind of a mini Telluride. It is a really good vehicle. Interestingly enough, the one I tested, and this is a subcompact SUV, a two-row, 5-passenger subcompact, was $37,000. So this was fully loaded with a turbocharged engine and all of that. You can get one, though. It starts at under $25,000. And I would say toward the lower end of the price range there is the sweet spot for the Seltos. Nice vehicle, though, and much larger than before, much more substantial.
And while you're speaking of a turbocharged 4-cylinder, I have had several in the past few months that have terrible turbo lag. And in a big city, and you're living in the LA area, you can't afford to have turbo lag. You will get yourself killed by doing that. Yeah. Because I'm ready for the power when I kind of squirt across the intersection, and the turbo lag just does not work for me. And I don't understand. There are some manufacturers that have it down pat. There's no turbo lag. The car behaves like a real, honest to God, straight gasoline engine. You step on the accelerator and it goes. But there are some manufacturers out there, you step on the accelerator and it's got to think about it. Or has to downshift, and then it goes through this whole rigmarole 4 seconds later and you finally get the power. You've driven them. I know you have.
Absolutely. I've driven so many of them, and we talk about it on our show, too. I mean, this is the result of regulations, right? I mean, there would not be these complicated turbo engines across these broad-based segments if it weren't for the fuel economy regulations that are now not in effect.
Yeah.
They built these to meet these crazy fuel economy regulations
that we
used to have that have gone away because they were virtually impossible to make. But we're still stuck with these engines. I think stuck with these engines is the right term, because I'd much rather have a normally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, maybe a little less power, but certainly more reliable. Maybe better fuel economy, could well be better fuel economy.
Less maintenance.
Less maintenance. Exactly. I think when these things are 5, 6 years, 7 years old, finding mechanics who are going to, an independent mechanic who's going to work on all these turbocharged engines is, I think, going to be pretty difficult. And it's going to be expensive for sure.
And, we talk about, the CAFE regulations, but there's also the whole point system that these manufacturers have to meet, and, these premiums
EPA,
that you have to pay for these big high horsepower engines that don't get any mileage. My old 25-year-old Corvette, mind you, with a standard V8 engine in it, an LS1, if I get on the highway with it, 30 miles per gallon. 30 in a Corvette.
Yeah, I get 31 weekly on mine.
Yeah, and Jeff's new Buick that he drives, 31 miles per gallon.
Because they're not working hard, right? I mean,
no, they're idling down the road is what they're doing. And, they can make up for the power loss through the transmission if they put the right transmission in it, in my estimation anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Well, have you gone on any good road trips with going and, checking out brand new cars? I mean, have you gone to New Zealand to drive anything lately?
I wish I had. I'd love to get to New Zealand. I've been to Australia, but never New Zealand. So that would be terrific. I drove a Corvette. Speaking of Corvettes, I drove a Corvette all the way across the Australian continent for Motor Trend back in the day. So that was a blast.
Really?
Yeah. No doubt.
Well, that's when the America's Cup was being contested in Perth, Australia. And so we got, it was called America's Car to America's Cup. and we drove across the continent to do that. It was a blast. It was
You'd mentioned the fact that you haven't had many GM cars, and I haven't either. And I think that it goes to say that they're not holding a whole lot of hope out for us journalists and getting us the cars. And to me, my sales pitch is always, hey, you're getting free advertising.
Yes.
By letting us journalists, because we're going to write an article about your car. You can't buy that. You're not going to buy me, in my opinion on it, and same thing for you.
Right.
So why not goose up the press fleet?
I could be bought.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I agree with you totally, and I think Tesla is probably the master of that, right? I mean, keeping Tesla out of journalists' hands has been their gambit from the beginning, and I'm not sure why, especially when Tesla was new. I think they really needed that, but it's interesting to me what cars we can get and what cars we can't, and I think if a manufacturer is really proud of the vehicles and is confident in the vehicles that they're building and think there's a market for them, they're going to put them into our hands and we're going to be able to test them.
You mentioned Tesla, Jack. Back in the day, they did send some out to some of the regional press associations events. And the two that I saw at the Texas events, Texas Auto Writers Association,
Right.
They didn't make it through the weekend. They had to tow them off. We never saw any more after that.
Yeah, well,
that?
maybe
Because-
that's why. Maybe they learned very early.
Because of the charge system?
No, one of them was the gull wing doors. They opened up and he couldn't close them.
Well, there's that. They always take a chance on that, and especially when it comes to the
Prototypes and, yeah.
pre-production vehicles, and we've run into some problems like that in the pre-production. But they stayed up front. This is a pre-production vehicle, so
Right.
you take that into consideration. Well, Jack, it's always great to talk to you. Tell us what you got coming up on America on the Road this week.
We're going to be talking about all those regulations that you talked about in California. What's interesting is they're now talking about a road use tax in California.
All right.
Because of the electric vehicles not paying gas tax, right? We have the highest gas tax, I think, in the country, or one of them. But now that so many vehicles are electric here, and the hybrids you talked about, people aren't using as much gas, so they're not paying as much gas tax. So now we have to figure out another way to tax people.
What we did in Texas, the EVs pay when they go get their license plates renewal, they pay a considerably higher fee, like almost twice of what an ICE vehicle would pay.
Yeah, I
to
think we'll
compensate for that.
I think we're going to see that and much, much more.
Well, I'm waiting for you to say, Don, guess what? We're moving the home base of America on the Road to Texas.
It's not going to happen, I don't think. But I do have two daughters in Texas, and one of my daughters gets to Houston all the time. She works for a company that services a lot of the oil businesses, and so she gets down to Houston from Dallas probably 2 or 3 times a month.
I'll
Got
be
grandkids, Jack?
No grandkids yet.
I said I wasn't moving either, but that third grandchild, I moved.
Well, I know my wife is looking at that as
Yeah.
that might get us into Texas, but we'll see about that.
Well, don't move anytime soon, because we love ribbing you about living out in California and those high gas prices and all the things Mr. California Jack Nerad has to offer. We appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Love
Thank
to
you.
talk to all three of you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Jack Nerad, America on the Road. Check it out. Coming up, Jeff has the cruise in and events calendars, and I'll have the stories making automotive news headlines. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues after this 90-second break. Stay with us. The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flamiado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla. Eats pretty good. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show thanks you for 15 wonderful years. Yep, our first show aired May 7th, 2011 on a local radio station. Then it was a move to the digital world and social media, and you followed. Thank you. We continue to build and grow our fan base, and it's all because of you and your auto enthusiast friends. We appreciate your support. It's always great to see you at our remote broadcast, too, and we hope you'll continue to stop by and say hello. It's been a great ride, and we hope to bring you more fun and adventure right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Be sure and join us for our live show every week. In Wheel Time airs Saturdays, 10 to noon on Facebook, YouTube, at inwheeltime.com. And, of course, if you miss it, you can catch 30-minute podcasts from this show at your favorite podcast store. Thanks for joining us today. Time now for the Cruise In and Events calendars, Jeffrey.
Here we go. We got one today. It is going from 6 p.m. till whenever it closes down. It's the East Side Ride Saturday Night Cruise In. It's in Baytown, Texas, Michael, and the entry fee is free. Then you've got one for tomorrow. It's J&J Swap Meet and Car Show. It's in Rosenberg, Texas, not far from here. It's an open car show and swap meet. Entry fee, if you want to show your car, it's $20. Another one tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 10. It's in the Woodlands. It's Cars and Coffee for a Cause. It's at 9595 Six Pines in Woodlands. I think that's up over by Cynthia Woods. It's an open cruise-in. Entry is a donation, so be generous of your donation. I got another one for tomorrow, 10 a.m. till whenever. It's Torqued Saturdays. Torqued Sundays, I'm sorry. Today is Saturday. It's at Nose Cafe. Torqued, yeah. Spring Stubner Road in Spring, Texas, and the entry fee is free, so be generous with free. 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. tomorrow, Coffee, Cars, and Donuts in Whitehall Cafe. It's in Navasota, so that's a nice little cruise going on up there. Go towards College Station and all that stuff. Be a nice little road course. Tomorrow, also 9 a.m. till whenever, Corvette meet at 8715 Spring Cypress Road in Spring, Texas. It's Corvettes only, dang it. So the entry fee is free. So don't bring your Ford. It's only Corvettes. Another one tomorrow, 6 p.m. to whenever, car meet up at D&M True Value. Got to mention True Value in Willis. So go on out there.
What you talking about,
What
Willis?
you talking about, Willis?
All right, some of the stories making headlines this week. It's funny because I don't hear a whole lot about it. Not since it happened. There was a huge earthquake in Japan.
Yeah.
Well, that deadly earthquake sent more automotive factories offline July 31st, yesterday, with Toyota, Nissan, Mitsubishi, Daihatsu suspending output after the disaster disrupted key suppliers, including Aisin and Renesas. The shutdown will extend into the first week of August, likely erasing output of more than 10,000 vehicles. Automakers have not provided clear timelines for resuming work at affected sites. Impacted nameplates may include trucks and crossovers shipped to the United States, including the popular Toyota 4Runner and Infiniti QX80 SUVs, and the Lexus NX and the Nissan Rogue crossovers. Toyota added its important Tahara truck and Lexus assembly plant to the list. That plant in central Japan, far from the quake zone, assembles Lexus GX SUVs, which I'm driving this week, and I'll tell you about it next. LS and IS sedans and LM luxury vans. It also produces the Land Cruiser 250 SUV, 4Runner, as well as the Century engines. It will be idled for the week of next week, August 3rd through the 7th. Toyota on July 31st also extended temporary shutdowns at 3 plants on the southwestern island of Kyushu. That was the center of the earthquake. The affected factories at the Miyata assembly plant for Lexus, the Kanda engine plant, and the Kakura hybrid powertrain plant. Those sites will remain idle through at least the second shift of August 5th. Miyata makes the ES sedan, UX, RX, and NX crossovers with about 90% of output exported.
You talked about the center of the earthquake there. I saw a report on that. I've got an EK channel on some obscure channel I was flipping through, and they actually showed some of the devastation. The island that epicenter happened, it's actually an island south of Japan,
right,
by just a little bit of a waterway. But it's a big island, and devastation. I mean, roads are absolutely gone on that whole place.
Well, I've got some good news.
Okay.
The Gordie Howe International Bridge is open to motorists after months of controversy over financial aspects of the project, of course. Officials announced in a post on social media that the Howe family crossed first in honor of the bridge's Canadian-American hockey namesake, Gordie Howe. Minutes later, another post marked the crossing of the first commercial truck, a vehicle from a trucking company in Tecumseh, Ontario. that is carrying auto parts to Michigan. And of course, let's not forget the fact that the folks that are involved in the union up there with the transportation union, they've said don't use it. And the reason being is because they're charging more to go over that bridge than the old bridge, the Ambassador Bridge.
Yeah.
And so they want you to use the Ambassador.
There's also a tunnel.
Is there a tunnel?
Yeah, there's a tunnel too. Yeah.
Well, you would know.
Yeah.
Have you been through the tunnel?
Yeah, I've been to years and years ago. Been tunnel, bridge, all that. Just not the Gordie Howe. So don't be a hoser.
Oh, yeah. Don't be a hoser. Yeah.
Go across the bridge.
Waymo. Waymo is exploring its exit robotaxi partnership with Uber, the latest relationship twist between two companies that have functioned as both rivals and partners, as bizarre as that may seem. Uber currently offers rides in autonomous Waymo vehicles on its platform exclusively in two U.S. cities, Austin and Atlanta, after ending a more limited partnership in Phoenix last month. An Uber spokesperson said that Waymo has given notice that it plans to launch service through its own app in those cities in January of 28, alongside their existing deployment with Uber. This would end Waymo's exclusivity in Austin and Atlanta and allow us, quote unquote, to launch with other AV providers in those cities, which we will be prepared to do, the spokesperson added. Okay. Have you been in a Waymo? Have you been in a driverless vehicle yet?
To see them on TV, I've never seen one live in color.
Well, I've got another story coming up about a new one that's not going to have a steering wheel.
Oh, great.
And it's already been approved.
You know what? I bet you won't have passengers either.
Probably not. I don't know why
Won't
they
have me as one.
And Ford Motor Company and Aramark. The manager's self-service payment kiosks at its factory snack bars are reviewing multiple cases of workers now who say they were terminated over technological glitches. The reviews come after Kentucky truck plant electrician Kurt Crom said Ford fired him because Aramark accused him of stealing a $1.95 chocolate chip cookie, even though the bank records show that he paid. At least 3 workers at the automaker's Michigan assembly plant were let go over similar allegations and then reinstated after being cleared. Sounds like another company that I know. They blame you and they fire you, and then they go, now what did you do? Another worker at the plant, Nick Nabozny, is fighting for his job back after a kiosk failed to process a debit card payment of less than $8 for Doritos and Ritz crackers. There was no talking to me, no review. No, you're a great employee. You've been here for 9 years. Was it a mistake? Nabozny told the Free Press, no immediate termination yet. Ford, in a statement to Automotive News, said it's reviewing limited instances where Aramark kiosk issues have been raised. Aramark also said it's looking into the matter.
Yep.
You're fired.
Talk about Waymo. Waymo, Take the Wheel. It's a song. Mike got it.
It's a song. Is it really a song?
Jesus, take the wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Waymo, take the wheel.
Waymo, take the
took
wheel.
the wheel, Mike.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I'm not saying that.
Why? Waymo, take the wheel.
Waymo.
Yeah, I think that's great. I'm
Won't
just
have
thinking.
me.
You think that's great. You cop out on good things like that.
Yeah, well, I have a cousin that he's been down in Austin on business.
Don't tell me he's a Waymo driver.
No. He's
driver.
used Waymo or a driverless car. I'm not sure it was Waymo, but he said he was kind of nervous the first couple of times in the Austin traffic. But after he'd done it 3 or 4 times, he said it really wasn't bad. He hadn't had
It's
any
that
problems.
5th time that'll get you every time with a
Every
big
time
wreck.
the 5th.
Well, you got to get liquored
Either
up.
that or you get caught up in some sort of huge traffic jam at an intersection, or the Waymo is trying to get out of the way of the fire truck and doesn't know what to do.
Or locks you in.
Or locks you in. Yeah, that's it. A ransom.
Going to need a lot of liquor for that one.
All right. That's it for this particular segment of our show. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. We'll be back after this 90-second break. Stay with us. Your car is a direct reflection of you, so don't be satisfied with color fade or a dingy, dull appearance. Get rid of those terrible automated car wash scratches. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your Save the Paint company. John Gray and his team of detailing experts can help your cars finish without a full repaint. Searching for real experts in window tint or windshield protection? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Dash cams, radar detectors, Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Got a new car? Get it protected as soon as you take delivery. If you don't know which of the multitude of protection products to go with, John Gray will give you an honest opinion and won't sell you something you don't need. John will help you understand the many options and pricing right on the spot. He's your guy to have your ride looking its best and protected too. See the state-of-the-art shop yourself. Free tours anytime. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to, located just south of the Southwest Freeway on the Sam Houston Parkway. Gulf Coast Auto Shield, full-service luxury car care today and online at gcautoshield.com. Gift giving should be meaningful, and we have an idea. A hand-painted custom illustration of your car from one of the nation's leading artists. Now you can get one or a car show poster customized for you, a friend, or a loved one. Bill Seitz will be happy to guide you through the process. No matter what the day, birthday, anniversary, or any day, an Autographics custom illustration adds an extra touch of class to any home. Call Bill today, 832-922-0963. That's 832-922-0963. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.